Welcome back, algebra students. We're going to spend another day doing the same thing that we did yesterday, where we need to practice getting the equations into slope-intercept form, solving for y so that we can then graph the equations. These first two problems, we're not even going to worry about graphing them. First, all I want to do is just practice getting the y by itself. So if you remember yesterday, we had an example that was similar to this. If I have all of the parts of the equation on one side and it's just equal to 0, sometimes if I'm trying to get the y by itself, it's faster to move the y to the other side instead of moving the other stuff. So I could subtract the 4x and subtract the 8, but that would take me 2 steps to get the y sort of alone. So instead, I'm going to actually add 2y on this. When I do that, now I've got a 2y over here. So the y isn't entirely by itself, but it's close. So now I've got 4x plus 8. Now I don't want 2y. I just want y, so I'm going to divide. And again, we're used to seeing the y first, so I'm just going to swing it out in front. 4x divided by 2 is going to be 2x. And then 8 divided by 2 is going to be 4. So if we were graphing this, we would start at 4. My slope would be 2, or 2 over 1, up 2 and over 1. That was just kind of a random problem that I put in there to practice, again, moving the y away. In fact, the rest of this video is going to have all problems from your worksheet. So number 6 on your worksheet is what we're going to do right now. I would suggest that you write this down. You don't really have enough space on your worksheet probably, so you might just need notebook paper, or just the back side of your worksheet would be fine. When we're doing these problems at the top of your worksheet today, this is the Electrician worksheet, you don't have to graph these at the beginning. It's really just more of the practice of solving for y. So in number 6, I'm even going to do this. We haven't done that in a while, but I want you to remember where stuff is and what we're trying to do here. I want the y by itself. I need to get rid of the 3 and the 18, but the 3 is attached to the y, so we're going to leave that alone. Let's get rid of our 18 by subtracting it. And then think about which thing the 18 should go with. It doesn't have an x. It shouldn't go underneath the negative 8x. It should go under the 3. And you can do a keep, change if that helps you. So right now I've got 3y equals negative 8x. 3 plus a negative 18 is going to be a negative 15. And now I don't want 3y. I just want y. So we're going to divide. Y equals, again, I know that some of you see this and you still freak out about the fraction. Remember, this is just the slope number. We like fractions there. The negative 15 divided by 3, I could write as plus a negative 5 or just minus 5. Either way is fine. But again, that's part of your worksheet. I just hadn't labeled that one first. These are some more problems from your worksheet. So for number 8, on this one, I need to get the y by itself, remember. That's my goal. So I need to move that 1x away from it, right? There's really a 1 right there. I would subtract 1x, and I would put it underneath the other x. So I've got 5y equals 8x minus 1x is going to be 7x minus 20. And then I'm going to divide. So y equals 7 over 5x, and then that'll be just minus 4. And again, you're looking at the answers that are available there for your riddle, so you should be able to find that one. For number 9, it's got a little bit more stuff going on this time. We've got even some parentheses in here. But again, we know how to solve equations. We know how to move stuff around in equations. So I'm going to start by doing a keep, change right there. I'm going to put a 1 right there, and I'm going to keep, change there. And let's distribute. So that'll be a negative 6y plus a positive 2. Negative 2 times negative 1 plus a negative 1x equals 0. This is kind of like the first problem from today, where it's all equal to 0. I've got all the stuff on one side, it's equal to 0 on the other side. So let's move the y to the other side. Let's add 6y. we've got some issues with this problem because it doesn't look the way that we're used to seeing this, right? I've got 2 plus a negative 1x equals 6y. So first of all, the y is on the right side, not used to that. Second of all, even the 2 and the negative 1x aren't in the order that we're used to. It's okay for right now. I know that my next step is still going to be divide everything by 6. When we do that, then we can kind of rearrange stuff at the same time. So I'm going to move the y out in front, y equals, and I'm going to do this part first because that's the part with the x. So that's going to be a negative 1/6 x plus, and then the 2 over 6, now be careful, the bigger numbers in the denominator, this is still going to be a fraction. That's going to be 1/3 for my y-intercept. Remember, we're not asking you to graph those problems, so it's okay to have a y-intercept that's a fraction. If I'm not actually asking you to graph it and just asking you to manipulate the equation, move stuff around, we can do that. Now, 10 and 13 on your worksheet, you'll have to solve for y, and you'll have to graph them. There are graphs right there for you. But on number 10, I would start with a keep, change, and let's sneak a 1 in there. So I need to get rid of that positive 2x. I would subtract 2x from both sides. So I would have negative 1y equals. And remember, negative 1 minus 2x would be okay, but it's not ideal. Even better would be to put the negative 2x first, and then the minus 1 or plus a negative 1. And now I'm going to divide. Everybody gets divided by negative 1. So negative 2 over negative 1 is going to be positive 2x, and negative 1 divided by negative 1 is 1. When you graph that, and I don't have the graph on this, remember your y-intercept is going to be 1, and your slope is really a 2 over 1, which means you'd be starting at 1, and you're going to go up 2 and over 1 and get a point, or down 2 and over 1 and get a point, right? So your graph should look sort of like that. When you graph that, there are, again, letters around the outside of the graph. Your line should hit one of those letters. And if it doesn't, then you made a mistake and you got to find what you need there. For number 13, and again, you've got 10 and 11 are both getting graphed on the same graph grid, and then 12 and 13 are getting graphed together also. So for number 13, let's distribute. So I'll have 3x minus 3 equals 2x minus y. So we're going to get our negative 1 in front of that y. I've got x's on both sides. And again, keep in mind our goal here. I want the y by itself. So some people just kind of start randomly moving things. I want the y to be alone. I have to get rid of the 2x. So I would subtract 2x. So I would have 1x minus 3 equals negative 1y, and then everybody gets divided again. So I'm going to have my y equals 1 divided by negative 1 is negative 1x. Negative 3 divided by negative 1 is going to be a positive 3. So when you graph this one, you'd be starting at 3, and your slope is a negative 1 or negative 1 over 1. So down 1 and over 1, and down 1 and over 1, and down 1 and over 1. So here is about what your graph should look like. So that electrician worksheet is the homework today. When you finish it, make sure that you check your answers with the answer key in Schoology, and then don't forget about the formative quiz in Schoology when you're all done. If you need any help, let me know.